and I'm really scared to go to sleep. I wasn't expecting it. I'm DNF in the book. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jane and today I'm going to read horror for the first time ever. Oh my god! So I've never read a horror book before in my life, and I wanted to read a horror book for so long, and I'm actually those kind of people that are scared from horror movies, so I'm not sure how my experience will be and if I will be scared or not. But I'm really excited for this reading vlog. Like, it is one of my most anticipated reading vlogs. I waited for so long to finally make it, and I'm so excited to finally read my first horror book. I just can't believe this day actually come and I'm actually going to read horror books. Now, I know that horror books are not exactly like horror movies, so yes, I'm not sure if I will be even scared from horror books. And I'm not sure that horror books meant even to scare you. Like, this is a genre that I never read before. I know that a lot of the horror is psychological horror and not something like in horror movies, a jump scare. So I'm not really sure what I'm getting myself into, but I'm so excited. I want to do a spooky rating. Now I have 3 parts for this rate. The first part is the spooky rating that I got from people. So I asked on Twitter if someone read one of the books that I'm going to read today, and I got help from a few people, and thank you so much for everyone who helped me. So the first rating will be based on other people's opinions, so I can like compare my spooky rating against others' spooky rating. The second part will be my initial spooky rating, how much I think the book is scary when I finish reading it. And the last part will be my final spooky rating, and in this final part I will give my opinion on the spooky rating after I already read all of the books. So if the first book that I read is really scary, but it is my first ever horror book, so maybe my opinion will change once I will read more horror books. I hope I made it understandable enough. I'm just really excited to finally read horror. Like, I wanted to do it for so long and I waited especially for this vlog, and it's finally the time. So let's talk about the books that I'm going to read. So the first book is Horrid by Katrina Leno. So this story following Jane, a character with my name. I already love it. And Jane's father passed away, so Jane and her mother moved back when her mother grew up, and they moved to an old creepy house, and something creepy is supposed to happen in this house. Like, I think this is an haunted house story if I'm not mistaken, but yes, it sounds like a classical horror story, and I'm really excited for it. And also the cover is so beautiful. And when I asked people on Twitter how much they were scared from this book, I've got an average rating of 5, and the people that I asked on Twitter say to me that they weren't afraid from this book and they felt more uneasy and more unsettling than afraid. So yes, it feels like a good book to start with. So this is the first book that I'm going to read. The second book that I'm going to read is Through the Woods by Emily Carroll, and let me tell you, I'm so excited about this graphic novel. And yes, this is a graphic novel. This is a collection of 5 short horror stories, and it sounds so good. I looked a little bit on the illustrations and they are really gorgeous. They are really in the spooky vibe. I actually think this is the book that I'm most excited about from all my TBR in this vlog. I just think that I'm really going to love it. Maybe this is a 5 stars prediction. I'm really hoping that it will be 5 stars because I'm so excited to read it. So yes, this is the second book, and actually I didn't find anyone who read it, so I don't really have others' spooky rating for this book, but from the reviews I read, I think it's going to be a 4 in the spooky rating, so let's put it at 4. The fourth book is Widelgors by Rory Power. First of all, another really stunning cover. It's about a girl who learns in a boarding school, and something spooky around the boarding school start to kill teachers and students. Now, when I asked people about the book and how much this book is scary, I got from everyone that the main horror in this book is a body horror. From what I got, a lot of people say this book isn't really scary, it's more of a thriller, and everyone say that this book is really weird. read. So finally the average rating from people was 3, but yes, this will be my 4th read. And the last book that I'm going to read is from Junji, which is a really popular horror manga author, and I know that his work is really weird and really creepy, and I heard a lot of people talk about it, and one of my best friends is a really big fan of Junji, so I think that reading a Junji book will be really good for this vlog, and this is Venus in the Blind Spot. Now honestly, I just wanted to read something from Junji, and I just asked my friend which book is the best to start with, and she recommended me this one. So this is the reason that I'm going to read it, and I actually don't know anything, and I also don't want to know anything about it. Now I asked my friend which spooky rating she will give the book. She gave me a rating of 7, so it's supposed to be the most scary book, and I actually think that this is right. Like, I looked a little bit on the illustrations because this is a manga, and it looks really creepy but really cool, and I'm really excited to read this one also. So finally, those are my 4 books that I'm going to read, and I said it already, but I'm really excited to finally read horror. So this whole vlog is an experience for me to understand if I even like horror. So yes, now I'm going to start to read Horrid, and guys, I'm so excited. Oh my god, I'm really hoping that I'm going to love some of the books. So yes, let's start reading the first book. Okay, so I'm back and I read until page 55. I actually read only the first chapter because it was very long. I'm really enjoying this book by now. Like, right away, I felt like this book is different from other books that I read so far. Like, it definitely feels like a different genre. There is something spooky in the vibe. Like, I'm not scared, I'm more thrilled to know more and to see where it goes, but there is something different from books that I usually read. I actually really love the relationship between Jane, the main character, and her mother. The relationship feels different from mother-daughter relationship that I usually read about. It feels more like they are friends, and I really love the personalities of both of them. And I don't know, also the other characters are really good by now, and I'm really enjoying. And like, from the first sentence, I looked at the book and I read it, and I was just, wow, is it going to be 5 stars? Like, usually the start is my most favorite part of a book, and a lot of times I start to read a book and I really love it in the start, and after a few chapters I don't feel the same anymore. So I'm not sure if it's going to change, but I really love the story so far, and I wasn't expecting it. Like, first of all, from all the 4 books that I'm going to read, this is actually the one that I was least excited about, and by now it's so good. I really want to keep reading. I actually didn't have a really good reading year yet. Like, I did read books that I love, but I actually didn't give any book 5 stars except from graphic novels, and I really want to read a book that isn't a graphic novel that I'm really going to love. So I'm really hoping that March will be so much better than January and February, and I'm really hoping that maybe it's going to be 5 stars. Like, I wasn't expecting that this is going to be 5 stars before I started to read it, but now, after I read 50 pages, I didn't felt like this for a book for a long time. So yes, I'm just going to stop talking because I really want to continue reading it. So I will see you soon, and I really hope that my opinion won't change and that this book will be really good. Hello guys, this is the next day, and yes, I finished Horrid. Oh my god guys, it was so amazing. But is it 5 stars? Okay, so I have this habit. When I usually start to read a book, I read first of all the synopsis. I don't know why. I usually do it because I want to get more into the writing style of the author, but not always I read the synopsis until the end, because there is a lot of synopsis, and this is also for movies because there is a lot of trailers where the end of the synopsis or the trailer is with spoilers, and I really don't get why they do it. Like, why author put something that for me is clearly a spoiler in the synopsis of the book. So because of that, I'm not always reading the synopsis until the end. So I read the synopsis when I started to read the book, like always. And the synopsis was so interesting that I just kept reading until the end. And I'm really regretting it because there was a spoiler. And I really hate spoilers. Like for me, the plot is the main thing that gets me really excited about the book. I do think that characters are really important and you can't have a really good book without good characters. But for me, plot is the thing that makes a book good or not. And I really love to read books without knowing too much and like to find everything along the way because I really hate spoilers. And because I read this line of the synopsis, it really ruined my experience. Now, I really had a really good time reading this book. I really wasn't expecting to love it this much. And I'm saying it, but this is one of my most favorite books of 2020 so far. But I didn't give it 5 stars. I gave it 4 stars. And that's because there weren't really a surprise element for me. And this is the thing that I really love about books. The unknowing, the surprise, all those things. And without it, it really ruined my experience. And without this feeling of not knowing something, it wasn't a 5 stars for me. But I really think that this is a really good book. I enjoyed it so much as I just couldn't put it down. Like I finished everything yesterday. It was so fun and I just wanted to keep reading. And really, I didn't felt this way from a book for a long time. Definitely such a good book. I think that maybe this isn't one of my favorite books of 2021. It's actually the favorite book of 2021 so far. And yes, there is graphic novels that I gave 5 stars and this book got 4 stars. But I'm talking about the book, not about the graphic novel. And this is, I think, the best book that I read so far. And I really think that maybe if I didn't know what is going to happen and maybe if I didn't read the spoiler, maybe I would give it 5 stars. But I don't know because my experience reading it was that I already know what is going to happen, unfortunately. But yes, this book was so good. I definitely will be checking more things by Katrina Leno. It was so amazing. Like, I really didn't enjoy a book this much for a long time. It made me so happy. It was just so good. I really wish that I didn't read the spoiler. And if you think about reading the book, please don't read the synopsis. But the real question is what is my spooky rating for the book? Okay, so I wasn't scared like at all. I did felt uneasy like other people that I talked about this book with said. It wasn't really a spooky feeling. And I know that in the beginning I said that it feels to me like a different genre, but when I continued reading, it isn't really different from books that I read. Like, it's still in the YA writing style, and it isn't really different from other books. I did really love the writing, I really loved the vibe, I really loved everything, but it wasn't scary. So I think that my initial rating is between 2 and 3, I think. Maybe I will give it 2.5. Yes, I think 2.5 in the spooky rating is good. So initial rating is 2.5. And we all know what it means. I'm going to read Through the Woods now. Oh my god! Like, I said it already. I think that maybe it's going to be a 5 stars. Like, this is a graphic novel and I really love graphic novels. Almost every graphic novel that I read, I really loved. So I'm really excited to read it. I wanted to read it for so long. Yes, oh my god, I'm actually going to start reading it. I finished Through the Woods. This is a graphic novel, so I read it really fast. But yes, I'm giving it 3 stars. It wasn't a 5-star. It wasn't even close to be a 5 stars. I did really love the illustrations and I really loved the vibe. It felt really creepy and really spooky, and I don't know, it was really good. I did really enjoy it, but I'm not sure why I didn't like it as much as I thought that I'm going to like it. Maybe short stories are just not for me. Like, I really love the stories, but it felt like it ended too fast. So maybe the short story concept isn't for me. But I really loved the stories and the vibe and the illustrations. It was really good. I don't know why I'm not giving it 4 stars. It just doesn't feel like 4 stars. So I'm giving it 3. But on the spooky rating, I think that I'm going to give it 5. Like, I wasn't scared because there wasn't jump scares and like everything was illustrations, so you are reading more in your pacing and it isn't really scary, but I think that the illustrations were really amazing and really creepy, the exact vibe that I wanted. So my initial spooky rating is a 5. So it was less than I expected. But now I'm going to read the next book, and this is Wilder Girls, and I'm so excited to read it. Like, I was more excited to read it than Horrid, and we all know by now that I loved Horrid. So let's see if I'm going to love this one also. I just heard so many good things about this book. I'm so excited to finally read it. So yes, let's get into reading. Okay, I'm back. I'm currently at page 44 and I read 2 chapters. And this story is about a boarding school, and this boarding school is in the middle of an island and there is something strange happening, some sort of disease. So the body horror that I'm seeing right now, it's all the description about the disease. Honestly, I'm not sure what to think about the story right now. It is interesting. I want to keep reading. I just not sure what to feel because it is different from things that I read. But this is the point of this vlog, to read horror, which I never read before. So yes, we will see what I think about it. And yes, I just think the cover is really gorgeous. And I will continue reading and I will see you soon. Hello everyone! This is the next day. Okay, so the reason that I didn't update you yesterday is because that I didn't read a lot. Like, I've read something like 60 pages and today I did most of the reading and I'm currently at page 168, right here in the middle of the book. And I can't believe that I'm saying it because I was so excited about this book, but I'm DNF in it. Yes, I'm DNF in the book. I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it at all by now and I really forced myself to keep reading, but it just got more and more boring for me. Like, I can get why people love this book, but I just didn't felt it. Maybe I'm not in the mood to read it, but I'm not sure if I will ever go back to this book. I don't know, like, I just can't even explain what I'm feeling. I didn't DNF a book for so long and I'm actually trying to DNF more books because I think that you don't need to waste your time on books that you are not enjoying enough. So it was hard. I really debating if to keep reading or not. I decided to DNF it because I'm just not enjoying this book at all. So yes, I actually DNF'd a book, which isn't typical for me, but I need to DNF books more. But let's talk about the spooky rating that I'm giving the book. So this book wasn't scary at all. It is mostly body horror because there is some kind of disease, so it's a lot of description about what this disease does to the body, but except for me, it wasn't scary like in any way. So I'm giving it a 2. like for initial spooky rating. Right now I'm going to start with my last book for this vlog, and this is Venus in the Blind Spot, and I'm so excited for it. So I know that this book's supposed to be like a really hardcore horror. I'm so excited to finally read something from Junji. And yes, this is a manga, like I said, so it's not supposed to take long. It's actually already evening. I know that I didn't update you, I just wasn't feeling the best, and also it took me so long to read what I read from Wilder Girls. So I finally decided to DNF it, and I'm going to start this one, and we will see what I'm thinking about it, and I really hope that I will like it way more than Wilder Girls. So I finished the manga. I really love this manga. Like, it was so good, but it was also so terrifying. I'm giving it an 8 in the spooky rating. It was so scary. It's definitely a hardcore horror, but I loved it so much. Like, I really enjoyed the book. It was really good. And I don't know, it was so weird and bizarre and, like I said, terrifying. It was just really fun, and it's actually also a short story collection. Like, I didn't know a lot about Junji except that he's really famous, and I asked my friend and she said to me that most of his books are short stories. There is a few books that are like one big story, but most of them are short stories. But I actually really enjoyed those short stories. Like, if I need to compare this one to those short story collections, this one is definitely better. Those short stories are much more deep, and like, I really can't stop thinking about those stories. And it's actually evening and I'm really scared to go to sleep. Like, I don't want to be in the dark after I read this one, but it was so good, and I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed, and I will definitely be reading more from Junji. Yes, I actually read 4 horror books. It was a really interesting experience. Those are the 4 books that I read. I'm just so happy that I finally got to read this genre. It was so fun. And let's talk about my final spooky rating after I read all of them, or kinda read all of them because I DNF'd Wilder Girls. But yes, what is my final spooky rating? So I actually already don't remember which rating I gave to the books, so everything will be right here. But the first book that I read, Horrid, I think that I'm giving it a 4 in the spooky rating. Like, I was thinking more about it. It wasn't really scary, but this is a ghost story, so it's supposed to be more scary. So yes, this one is a 4. For the Woods was interesting. I didn't love it as much as I loved Venus in the Blind Spot, but I really loved the illustrations. I think that in this situation, the short stories really felt too short for me, but the illustrations were so good and so scary and spooky. Like, it was really fun to read it, and I'm giving it a 5 in the spooky rating. The 4th book, which I DNF'd and I didn't like, but it wasn't scary at all. Like, there was body horror, and it was a little bit uneasy, but I won't say that this book is really spooky. So I'm giving it a 2, I think. Yes, a 2 feels right to me. I read it just now, so my initial rating and my final spooky rating are going to be the same because I just finished reading it. But 8, it was terrifying. Like, I was reading it and I was so scared while I was reading it, but it was so fun and so different, and I enjoyed it so much. So in the end, do I love horror? So definitely yes. Like, it was so much fun. I know that I DNF'd one of the books, but the 3 others I really enjoyed. One of them were 3 stars, it was really nice, but 2 of them I really liked. And now, after I already thought about all the books, I can say that definitely this is right now my favorite book of 2021. So yes, I will definitely be reading more horror. It was so fun, like I was so excited about all of those books, and I really enjoyed most of them. It was just so fun, and I'm so glad that I finally read horror. It was so amazing and so interesting to see if I will like a new genre that I never tried before. So yes, this is my first time reading horror vlog. I'm doing a lot of reading vlogs on this channel, and I'm uploading 2 times a week on Sundays and Wednesdays. My next video will come on Wednesday, but until then you can check more videos by me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone!